My ex-best friend, 25F, of 10 years wants me, 25F, to forgive her for sleeping with my exes plus 3-year update. So my ex-BSF, let's call her Andrea, was my best friend for 10 years. We're at a party, I brought my fiancé of a year with us. We're about 5 to 8 drinks in and everyone's feeling it. I went off to go talk to another friend while Andrea and my fiancé sit at a table on the outside deck. I go back about 15 minutes later and my fiancé tells me he needs to talk to me discreetly after she gets up and walks away. He tells me she asked him why her. Why does everyone always go for her? Why does no one go for me? And then proceeds to say, would you ever date me? Now, in the moment I don't know if I fully believed him. About a year later, I have been broken up with my fiancé for about 3 months. I started hooking up with another guy I had known. We will call him Colby. One night I threw a party and it got kind of crazy. I was not feeling well and was in the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, Andrea was all over Colby. Someone had told me later that night, and as I was on Snapchat posting stuff, she takes a pic with Colby and is basically on top of him and sticking her tongue out. She sends it to me while I am on my phone. I didn't really think much of it. 2 weeks later, a mutual friend says Andrea is sleeping with Colby and that she slept with another ex of mine after we had broken up. I message her and asked her, are you sleeping with Colby? And did you sleep with other ex? She plays it off like she has no idea what they're talking about and says she would never do that to me. I asked, are you sure? If you like him, just be honest so I can stop wasting my time on Colby, and then starts gaslighting me and asking why would I believe mutual friend. I didn't push it after that BC. I didn't want to start a fight with her. One night I looked at Snap Map and it showed Colby and Andrea in the same location and I knew in my gut. I expected it from a guy but not from my BSF. I asked again, she blew up and finally admitted it after gaslighting me for 3 weeks. Then tried to make me out to be the bad guy and saying, you always make everything about you and you guys weren't even in a real relationship and a bunch of other crappy things. I get into a relationship with Tyler. A few weeks later I stupidly forgive her. 7 months later me and Tyler take a break. We all attended a party together and I see her flirting with him and flashbacks of Colby came back, and long story short we fought again and didn't talk for a very long time. A year later I have moved out of state and she's in a relationship with Tyler and is pregnant with his child. I now know all of my feelings were right. I mean, her last 3 relationships were all of my exes. Another year later she says she misses me and is sad I moved out of state and doesn't apologize for anything. I told her I don't hold grudges, but I don't think I can fully ever be friends with her again. Update. I have blocked and removed her on everything. Should have been done sooner, but what's done is done. And I've learned my lesson. Editor's note. Oop made similar original post onto another subreddit. I am adding the comments from that subreddit for more context relevant. Top comments. Commenter 1. She hasn't apologized for anything, so it does not read like she wants forgiveness from you. Oop. Very true, that fact she hasn't apologized shows she doesn't feel bad like she should. Commenter 2. You have so many broken relationships, maybe you should work on yourself and not worry about exes. Oop. It's not worrying about exes. If you read anything into this, the takeaway is that she was my best friend for a decade and that's hard shit to get over. This was in a span of quite a few years. I am now in a happy relationship and I am engaged to be married. She recently crawled out of her hole to try and get back in my life. I think you should really pay attention to the full story. One of them wasn't a relationship even, and I stated that I just really started to like the guy. I don't think 2 relationships in 4 years is crazy. Lol. Commenter 3. How did she become your best friend? It seems that you know each other because you meet often, which may or may not be a coincidence, but otherwise. She wants a certain reaction. Maybe she wants you to envy her as she envies you, or just to hurt you. She doesn't care about your friendship, only about appearances. Life is too short to waste your time on the wrong people. Oop. We met in middle school and became friends through a mutual friend. We were best friends ever since. And we lived together through the first incident. Commenter 4. I wouldn't be so bothered by someone getting with an ex, so long as whatever developed between them started after the relationship was over. In at least one of the cars, that just isn't true, and in the other cases she at least tried to get with them while you were still together. She's a snake. Oop. All I wanted from her was communication. Just be like, hey, I think I really like him and don't know what to do. I would have worked it out and been like, hey, you know what, go for it. But she gaslit me and lied, so it just ruined everything. Not even an apology too. Commenter 5. Man, she's tired of Tyler and wondering if you found something new for her. You're smart to walk away, man. Fuck that. Commenter 6. NTA, but I gotta ask, did she seem competitive with you or jealous with other things in your life? Did she ever try imitating you or your life, because this is straight up weird. She went out of her way to get your exes, multiple times. It just reeks of envy or jealousy to me. But no, she burned that bridge long ago. You don't have to forgive toxic people. Oop. Actually yes. I'm so glad someone asked that. I don't want to seem full of myself. But everything I had she had to have. I got sparrows tattooed on my chest, she did the same thing. I got a skull and roses on my forearm, she OFC had to do the same. Nose piercing? You guessed it, she got it too. Dyed my hair red? Yup. Everything I did she mimicked. I was always told imitation is a form of flattery, but it gets to a point where it's weird. She would get mad that I would get the attention at the bars, even if I wasn't entertaining it. But I knew how self-conscious she was and felt bad, so I never said anything. She was my closest friend, now I see Sue much more. Commenter 7. Yikes. NTA. Maybe she's only in contact because she needs a new boyfriend. Oop. Ha, that one got a good laugh out of me, thank you, I needed that. It's really a tough situation for me because we were attached to the hip. I haven't made any new friends since, so it's hard to say no. But I'm going to hold myself to my standards. Additional comments from Oop after reading responses. Oop. I'm too nice and oblivious, but not anymore, don't worry. After many commenters are saying the same thing, I'm glad to know I'm not a bad person. I think we're all in agreeance here. Commenter 8. That oblivious part's so obvious. Your damned fiance told you what she was doing, and you ignored him. She showed you what she was doing, and you ignored her too. How many friends told you what she was doing? Ignored them too, but now you're mad? I guess if you'd walked in on them, she'd have said he slipped? There's trusting and then there's willfully blind. You still act like you could trust her again at some point after she stabbed you in the gooch at least 3 times. Oop. Okay, you obviously don't read very well. Yes, I didn't take action on something my BF said because we were all drunk and I had no proof. The second person told me, and I did act on it. I asked her about it. I can't do anything without knowing the truth. I'm not just gonna jump to conclusions. And I already cut her off. Everyone's acting like I'm talking to her, LMAO. I was just trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing by telling her no, and y'all just eat it up and read way too much into it. No one said I was going to trust her again. Update. June 8, 2026, 2 years and 9.5 months later. Edit. Meant to say 3+ years in title. Hey everyone. I randomly came back across this post after not thinking about it for a long time and figured I'd give a real update since a lot has changed. It's been over 3 years since everything went down with Andrea, Colby, and Tyler. After I made my original update, I fully stuck to cutting Andrea off and I've kept her blocked, no contact ever since. That was honestly one of the best decisions I made for my peace of mind. So the actual update on the situation. Andrea ended up staying with Tyler for about a year and, as I told you all before, had a baby together. That relationship eventually fell apart after Tyler cheated on her, and shortly after their breakup he even tried reaching out to me again, which I obviously didn't entertain. After all of that, Andrea is now with Colby. Yes, the same Colby from my original post. So basically, she ended up in long-term situations with both of the main people involved in all of this. As for me, I stayed in the relationship I moved out of state for. We've now been together for years and things are amazing. We're building a life together, both settled into careers, and we've been talking seriously about the future, trying for a baby, yay. Looking back, I don't really feel anger about it anymore. It was painful at the time, but it also made it very clear who I could and couldn't trust. Mostly, I just feel far removed from who I was when I wrote the original post. I was constantly trying to make sense of people who weren't treating me with basic respect, and I don't live in that space anymore. What do you think? Did I make the right decision all those years ago? I think I did. If anyone remembers this from years ago, thanks for reading back then and giving advice, and thanks again now. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Good for you. Just don't introduce him to Andrea. JK oop. Got that right. Lol. Commenter 2. I'm confused about your timeline in the original post. Was Tyler the fiance that you initially took a 3-month break? Oop. No, different guy. They never dated, he was just my fiance she tried hitting on at a party. Commenter 3. Don't try for a baby, try for a marriage first. Oop. We are getting married beginning of next year. Commenter 4. You've been together a couple years and you're talking baby, but not marriage. Marriage is much less of a commitment. Take things slow up. Oop. I responded to someone else, but we're getting married at the beginning of next year. We've also known each other for a very long time. Commenter 5. Why did you and first fiance break up? Just to provide some context to the story. Oop. We just grew apart, wanted different things. It was a mutual breakup. Smiley face. Commenter 6. You must recognize that your first ex-fiance, soon after receiving an advance from your fake ex-friend, was the first to warn you. At least one on the list of exes was sincere, apparently. Good luck in the future pregnancy. Oop. Yes, he was a good guy. Glad he told me.
Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.